Okay.
All right. Whenever you guys are ready.
Hi, I'm Josh Bennett,
I'm Matt Colder. I'm Mark Borrelli.
I'm Bobby Richards. And I'm Joe Cercione.
and we are Fieldmate. This is my cousin Dylan. I travel to Minnesota about once or twice a month to hang out with my cousins and spend some time with them. While I'm there, I spend a lot of my time with my cousin Dylan. Dylan is my 8-year-old cousin who loves to play hockey, but there's a problem. Dylan is heavily addicted to his electronics. Last time I was in Minnesota, I said, Dylan, why don't you get off your iPad and get outside? He said, well, there's nothing to do outside and no one to hang out with outside. I thought Dylan was the only one that spent too much time on his electronics. But I looked at CNN and I found out that kids aged 7 through 12 spend 4.5 hours on screen time daily. This doesn't include the amount of time they spend on electronics at school. This leads to headaches, neck pain, obesity, and eye strain. Dylan has also received glasses in the last year since getting his iPad because he has eye strain. Our solution is Fieldmate. Fieldmate is an app that allows parents with kids aged 7 through 12 to easily hire a high school student that is well verified and well recommended for them. A high school student can go to a field or a house to meet up with them and get their kid active.
And the way parents can connect with our mates is through our app. Our app provides relatable mentors who are closer in age and live in the Barrington community. Our mentors will be CPR certified and will have extensive knowledge of the sport they plan on teaching. We will make sure they have this knowledge through our extensive interview process to make sure they have complete understanding of the sport. Our app also provides easy scheduling, which allows parents to either schedule a Fieldmate by selecting a certain mate or by the sport. And not only do we provide sessions at parks or fields or sports centers, but we also provide at-home sessions where the Fieldmate comes to you. Now, this is what we plan on our app looking like. It will give a picture of who the Fieldmate looks like, their name, age, and a brief description of who they are and what they like to do. It also will have a 5-star rating system to see how the Fieldmate has been rated from previous sessions. And if you find that you like this Fieldmate, you can click Book Now to book this Fieldmate for your next session. Now this is Liz. Liz makes over $150,000 a year. She has one athletic kid, married, but her husband likes to travel for work a lot. Now, Liz also wants to have her son or daughter be active, but she's on the job. So we believe Liz is the perfect customer persona for Fieldmate because she wants to make sure her son is active, even though that she can't be there to do that for her. Now this is Mark. He's going to be a junior at Barrington High School. He loves to play basketball with his younger brother, and he can drive and has a car. But he does need money for gas and other activities. We believe Mark is the perfect employee or Fieldmate or mate for Fieldmate because he's looking to get a job which is fun and he could use his sports skills.
All right, so here we have our market sizing. For our total addressable market, we have it's $10 billion. This is the amount of money spent on sports one-on-one training and mentoring. Next, we have our serviceable addressable market. For this, the number is $3.8 million. We got this by multiplying the number of households in Barrington by the total number of dollars spent on sports training. And then lastly, we have the market share, which is $570,000, or 15% of the serviceable addressable market. But we do see this as an undershoot or a worst case scenario. And then next we have our competitors. At this point in time, we have no direct competitors. However, 3 indirect competitors we have been made aware of is Redline Athletics, which while it is conditioning and training for young kids, it really doesn't provide a role model or anything that we do. And then next we have Coach Up, which is personal training for college athletes and varsity athletes, which doesn't really relate to our age gap. And then lastly, we have Nextdoor, which is a private social networking app for your neighborhood, which can be for scheduling babysitting gigs and kind of just hangouts, but nothing specific like we have. And for our marketing, we're planning on using 2 forms of marketing, flyers and social media. We have calculated that our flyers are going to cost $80.99 for 250 11 by 17 custom printed flyers. We plan on placing these at places we feel our customer segments are often, like maybe Bass soccer events, the Park District, Canton Sports, places like that, so we can really get the word out. And then next we have our social media marketing, Facebook and Instagram being the two platforms. Our cost per 1,000 views on Facebook would be $5.12, and the cost per click on Facebook is 80 cents. Instagram, comparable to these numbers, is $5.14 per 1,000 views, and the cost per click is 61 cents.
So for our MVP strategy, we're going to be using a concierge model. So like any great hotel, we're going to act as the concierge. You tell us what you want, and we're going to do the planning and the work required to make that happen. So our concierge model is going to be a manually run version of our service. This replaces the app or website and is ultimately eliminating the overhead price for testing our MVP. So the epicenter of this concierge model is going to be our email scheduling list. So this is going to be where all of our marketing is pushing our customer segments to schedule their appointments, and it's going to show us the data for these sessions. So for our revenue, it's going to be an aggressive and very competitive $30 per hour, as we want to make sure our initial sessions are demanding. Though it's a smaller price, we're going to get 100% of this revenue because of the fact that we are the only 5 ones providing these sessions. Later on in our business, we're going to have to split this with field mates we're hiring. And then for our BMC testing, we want to hit on our customer relationships, as we want to make sure our marketing money is being put to the most valuable of its things. So if we put our flyers out at Canton, we want to make sure that's the correct foot traffic we want, as well as hitting our revenue streams. As we found, our market research shows that we could be charging a lot more for this service. So we also want to attempt to do a tiered pricing system, depending on the skill of the athlete's training or the activity being provided. So finally, the feedback we want is obviously look at the response rate of our email list, as this is showing if our marketing is truly working. The qualitative feedback received from the parents. So we want to see the pros and cons of our sessions that we're providing. And then finally, with that qualitative feedback, we want to see if they prefer more of a recreational or a specialized training for their kids. So this is like whether they like a varsity athlete that's starting to come and train their kid, or if it's more about hanging out with the high school student.
Okay, so for our timeline, in January, by January we want to have 10 hours of concierge, and we also want to put our flyers out in Facebook ads. By February, we want to set up our landing page and fix all the problems that the parents had with our service. In March, we want to begin app and website creation, and then by the end of March and beginning of May, we want to launch website and app. And because we have a concierge strategy, we don't need any money for our actual MVP, but rather for advertisement. We researched that with $60, we can reach 8,300 people on social media. With $80, we can make 250 flyers, and in total, that's $140 that we need. Let's get your kid off the couch and act as a field mate.
A quick question on, I'm always about the value. And I saw it in your testing plan, which really made me happy, which was, is this going to be more about training or recreation? What's your hypothesis right now that this need is driven for which one? Because they're very different.
We feel that parents would really like it if like the varsity players were coming to teach their kids, but we understand that it would be a lot more cost effective if we just had any high schooler come. So we really want to see which one the parents would like.
Well, it's maybe not just like, or which one you can source also.
Right.
So you've got athletes who might be really committed to their season or off-season sport,
Exactly.
and you can't get enough for that side of your model, right? You're testing both sides. What do the parents want for their kids? And can I fill that need with enough of these high school students that either are trained or not trained? So you're going to get after, it sounds like, both of those.
Yeah, that's our goal.
I saw in the plan you're each committing to 2 hours in January. How many engagements is that?
That will hopefully, that's 2 hours each, so it's hopefully 10 parents that we'll reach, and then we'll get feedback from them. better. Okay.
Are you gonna make sure that these are people that you don't really know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We're gonna try. We have an email list ready to go.
We're gonna try to use like more of our marketing to bring in these customers rather than like going to talk to like friends' parents.
Yeah, exactly.
Where is your email list from? Like, how do you have this curated group of people?
Thanks to our mentor, we actually have a really good email list that fits our target market and like
Okay,
our customer personas.
okay.
What age range of children are you targeting?
7 through 12 we feel would fit best for this.
Okay, and are these going to be one-on-one sessions?
Well, we actually had 2 pass. We're thinking about going down, and that's what also we'd like to test with our MVP and talk to parents is if they would rather have 1v1 or we could eventually do like get multiple kids to go to the basketball court and get a game going.
Yeah, the reason I ask that is just I'm thinking of the dynamics in the service that you're providing.
Yeah.
I mean, one-on-one, yes, highly customized. From a parental perspective, it's a form of babysitting, but much more interesting because it's going to be around an activity. But generally, sports activities, they might be more interesting and more fun if there's more than one player there.
How did you come up with the $30 an hour price tag?
We basically looked at like places like Park District, which were like offering $60 to $75 an hour for their sessions. And we just wanted something really cheap so the parent would definitely schedule that and so we could get our information for our MVP.
Well, remember your range is somewhere between babysitting hourly, which
Right.
is maybe $15 an hour, and if you're saying $60 an hour for, high skilled training, so.
We also did interview about 20 people that fit our customer personas, and they felt that $30 was adequate price.
People will tell you anything you want to hear.
Yeah.
You'll find out when people actually pay or not pay when you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you all thought about, so this test is really important to get done and actually have experience because you can test this on both sides. You guys providing service and getting this done, so January is key.
Yeah.
So it's winter, and you may be limited with outdoor activities because of the Midwest. I don't know if you've factored in cost for being at a facility or being someplace else, or if you're planning to be at home. Like, there's a lot of components there. I was just wondering, without having access to outside in the same avenue
Yeah,
as you might in the summertime, so you can't go to a free baseball field.
exactly.
So what are you thinking?
Yeah.
We thought a lot of our parents we talked to actually like the fact that even if it's in the winter, they really just don't want their kids on electronics. So they said whether it's playing outside in the snow or like taking their kids sledding, they'd actually really enjoy that and thought that getting their kids off the electronics like that would be really nice to have someone do.
That's where I got a little bit lost in the messaging from where you started, and I thought it was going to be kind of more like that, and then it seemed to kind of go, well, no, we're really offering training. And I think there's a need for both, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know that someone's going to pay $30 to go sledding with someone. And I guess sort of, the obviously kids on devices is a big issue. Also, I think, a kid who's likes a sport and is okay at it, but then can improve through these types of services, that's a big self-esteem issue too.
Yeah.
So it may not be such a device issue as, hey, we're gonna help the kid, improve his skills a little bit more, get out there, not be afraid to join in the game type thing, and it's not gonna be with peer pressure of having to do it in a social setting.
And then versus, you forgot.
No, that's,
I was gonna say like for the sledding versus like the sports training, that's where like a tiered pricing system can come in. So if you're gonna go sledding, it could be a lot less than if you're doing a 1v1 training session.
So, I totally appreciate what you're suggesting as a potential customer from a parenting perspective. I'm not real clear as to what you're asking me to sign up my child for or children for. Is it a more active form of babysitting, or is it sports training? And I'm hearing you offer both, which is great. Then you just need clear labeling and clear descriptions. But I would like to hear more about what are your plans of where this will be housed when there's no snow and it's 20 below and you've got people registered?
Well, we were looking into like, obviously like going to the basketball court, going to Canlin, playing soccer, really anything. Even Hog suggested that like if it's a girl and we hire a girl field mate, we could like play Just Dance with them at their house, like, or do things inside, like.
So we'll talk about this when it comes to the dollars. Maybe you need to accommodate the fact that you may actually have to spend dollars to actually have a place if
Yeah.
any of those don't work. My challenge then would be is that maybe you guys need to bump up your testing hours earlier, and you need to test and get this, you can quantify this, you can actually get numbers. So you've got an email list, you have 2 offers. One is the active babysitting, one is sports training, and then you come back and tell us this, out of the 52 people we emailed, 25 of them signed up for this type of a service, and we were able to deliver it for this. Like, that kind of data is what we're gonna want to hear after you do this, and then can help you decide which is, it seems to be the more appealing, and it might need to be scaled from a pricing standpoint.
Yeah, that's what like we really want to do with our MVP, is see like what activity they want us to do, like, so that we can select the best activities to focus on those ones in the future.
And also from just a security perspective,
Yeah.
as a parent, that cannot be a question. So in terms of where this service is going to be conducted, find it a little strange to do a one-on-one in my own home. And maybe that works for active babysitting, so as a parent I have to go run errands, but if that's what you guys are offering, I don't know. If it's gonna be sports training, go back to your respective elementary schools and talk to the principal and see if there's a way you can reserve space in their gym when it's not being used for, what's the January sport, basketball?
Yeah.
I mean, either in the, somewhere, space in the school setting. They may be more friendly to you because you're an alum of that
Yeah.
elementary school. But you really kind of have to nail that too from a parental security confidence perspective.
Okay, question about Facebook ads. How is that money gonna be well spent getting to this targeted audience?
I believe there are filters on Facebook that allow you to kind of narrow it down to an area and like customer segments.
That hyper geo-focused?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I looked at it because I actually run a different business that I can do ads for on Instagram. My main focus is actually Instagram for my other business. And I can do area, so I can set to Barrington. I can set age, gender, all things like likes, even like who they follow and like what they like on Instagram.
Do you want to go to your pricing page so we can finalize? I'm fine with that. I think you might, again, I just keep going back to, you're gonna need money for maybe, you may not need to rent a space necessarily if you can, but if open gym at the Park District time doesn't work for you,
Yeah,
what do you do?
I think you'll find that they'll require a fee as well.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I would maybe bump up your flyers. You can go to sporting events, you know, the things, and just hand out to parents or kids right there. I mean,
Yeah.
that's, and they're seeing you, that's the face-to-face, that's the best marketing there is.
So maybe we allocate more dollars, you don't have to spend it all, but you have access to it if it's justified with additional flyer material,
Okay.
or if it's needed for rental spaces. So
Yeah, that'd
maybe
be
it's
great.
like, or 200 total.
Create digital flyers for your principals and your elementary and
We
middle school
definitely work through
PTOs.
that.
Okay, good luck, guys.
What's the number?
Thank you.
2.
Two?
2. They have to justify incremental, especially on these.
Gotcha. Perfect. Thank you, Ray. All right, good job, everybody. Remember, Monday we have the business model.